This week we discuss a twisty tale of love and money in Apple TV Plus's Sharper. I'm Chad.
Matt.
And you're listening to episode 96 of We Used to Talk About This at Work. So right off the bat, I would like to thank you for coming on this evening, Sativa. It's been a minute since we've, chit-chatted. Do you remember your last episode? Because I don't.
We talked about planes, trains, and automobiles for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
I was the only one who liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't our cup of tea. Sorry. But if it makes you feel better, I polled a couple people in your age range, and they love that shit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not so alone in this world.
So, Sativa, you have a child that is driving age. Is your daughter actually 16 or is she 15 getting the permit? What's happening?
No, she just turned 16 in beginning of December. We have two December birthdays, hence the confusions.
I hate how like time works, right? Where when you're a kid and your parents' friends who you've never seen a day in your life say, "Oh, I remember when you were this tall," and all that shit. And it's like, cool, but who the fuck are you? And it's like, I feel that way because, like, when we first met, you had a picture of your kids on your desk, and she was just so little. And I met her that one time I came to your house, and I was like, okay, a little bigger now, but okay. And now she's like driving and stuff. Like, what is happening here?
It's madness. It's not okay. I'm not okay. And I gotta say, with the driving, her dad and I, my husband and I, we had an agreement. Like, he was supposed to get like the foundation, and then I would chip in after, because they have to get, I don't know, like 15 hours before the school will take them out in their little cars. And then I think that the state makes them get additional hours on top of that.
So let's pause for a second. So Matt and I, we went to school in Missouri, and at least in my school district, we didn't have driver's ed. Did they have it in your school district, Matt?
Yeah, we had. I know I took driver's ed classroom wise, but I don't remember a driver's ed as far as taking us out in a car. But I remember in school, yeah, we had the little makeshift steering wheel and the screen and things like that. But yeah, shout out to Hazelwood.
Nah, man, my school district did not have money for that. So no, we didn't have anything. So like when I talk to people now with kids that are like of driving age, like Sativa and friend of the show, Amy, and they're like, oh yeah, they got to get their hours and it's through the school. I'm like, what are you talking about? Not in my day, not in my broke ass school district.
No, I have to pay extra for it too. Like, it's not included.
So wait, you have to do this is to get a license?
I think at our state, no. Like, I think the state itself requires that I certify she did, I think 50 hours or something with us. But my daughter in like the 10th grade signed up for this class and didn't tell me. So the school's like, hey, you owe us all this money for this class, and after so many hours, we'll take her out. And they have like cars with 2 steering wheels, and like, the gym coach or something takes them out on Saturdays. I have no idea. I'm paying for it. Whatever.
What is the cost of the Sativa?
I paid an extra $250.
$250 when you could have been taking your own kid. Well, no.
I still have to take her out. Like, I have to do both.
Yeah,
but apparently, I think the state likes it if they take this. She gets bonus points or something. I don't know. It's like I said, I'm not okay. Her dad was supposed to be dealing with this, but it's my turn now.
What happened? Oh, he did his time now.
No. He started, and he's stressed out and she's stressed out, and he said, well, why don't you come and sit in the back seat and you can watch how I teach her, and then sometimes you can teach her. We got through a couple streets. First off, I want to take her to a parking lot. He's like, oh no, we already did the parking lot once, so we're just going to go drive around the neighborhood. I said, no, I don't know if I want to do that. He goes, it'll be fine. It wasn't fine.
Right.
And he gets stressed out and she gets stressed out. And I'm like, okay, why don't I take over? Like, because you two are going to kill each other. So we dropped Dad off at home and we went to the big parking lot at the elementary school. And for like a
Right.
half hour, we just drove around so she knew how to stop the car and turn the car. And
Get a little comfortable.
oh, God. I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
leave the parking lots yet, but she's insistent I can go on the road now. So we do the subdivision. It's terrifying because she gets like freaked out if there's cars behind her. So she
Yeah.
like kind
Yeah.
of semi ran a stop sign the other day.
Oh no.
But thank God the other driver that was oncoming realized that I looked terrified and I have a teenage
Did
girl
you
in the
have one
God.
of those bumper sticker things like a permit driver or something like that?
I've got those on order. They're magnets from Amazon, so we can just put them all over the car.
They didn't give that to you when your daughter got her
No,
permit? That's weird.
no. And some other teenager in the neighborhood keeps stealing my parking lot. So there's been a few times where we had to go find somewhere else because we've got another dad with his daughter and he looks terrified too. The whole neighborhood, I need to just warn everybody, like, you guys
Why?
can't park on the curb anymore. Like, you got to get in your driveway.
Matt, are you ready for that? I know he's 12 or 13 now.
12.
You ready? I mean, I know
No, not at all.
I know it's a
No.
little
I
minute
mean,
away.
also it depends on where I'm at though, because drivers gonna be different depending on where I'm at teaching him and stuff.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm not ready because I just can't picture him driving. He's so unfocused, if that's the right word.
I get you.
Unless it's video games, so I just can't imagine him doing it. And I could tell, like, even like I remember like when I was getting my license, how scary shit is. And
Mhm.
getting on highways with semi trucks and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
And now I'm driving with a coffee and everything else, not paying attention,
You
setting
over
my
here
music up.
over here driving down the highway texting people.
Right. The last time I got scared driving is when I went back to the States.
I
And
remember.
right, because I kind of like forgot how to drive, and then the cars are so much bigger in the States. So I'm like, how do we maneuver this stuff again? So then, like the first couple of days, I didn't drive at all. I had my brother do it. So then I was driving somewhere. So then I was like, let me take a couple practice laps around the neighborhood before I take these on the main
Right.
street.
No,
Yeah.
that's when
And then I was like,
that's when I came by to pick you up because we were going to that meet and greet. And you was like, hop in the car. And I was like, when the last time you drove?
and I was like, earlier today. But yeah, but now I'm good to go. So yeah, it's gonna be a process. It's gonna be a nerve-wracking process for these kids, or for me and the
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah. Giving us all these health issues. But
Oh, yeah.
how's your health as of late, Sativa?
I'll tell you that in a minute. Let me that thing you were talking about, how people are texting and driving and everything. I don't think I've ever told you this story. I don't know how, since this is my third time on here. I was driving with my son in the car one day, and we're about to merge onto the interstate. And this is a busy road. Like, I think the speed limit's like 55 on this road we were on.
Okay.
Some college girl in the car behind me is playing a flute.
While she's driving?
Yes, it was like full on like flute, and she kept taking her hands off the wheel to play this flute while she's driving, but she kept looking down in her lap. So I'm guessing it's a TikTok thing. I have no idea what this child is doing.
Oh,
But her car, because she wasn't steering it, kept
swerving.
on the road, and she's getting on the on ramp to get on the interstate.
It's
And
not
I'm like,
funny, but I can't stop.
I said, the hell? I was using a lot of words my son should not have been hearing. He's a teenager now too, so he's heard it.
Yeah.
And I was like, does she have a flipping flute? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? And she played it on the interstate, and she's weaving through traffic, and she eventually put it down, and she gets off at the next exit where we got off to. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can't be behind her. And she kept doing it again. Like, people are insane. So when you're driving, just know that there might be a girl playing a flute.
So you know how in Ratatouille, like the rat was like controlling the human.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like some like convoluted Ratatouille shit where she had to Pied Piper it.
I mean, I promise you, like the fingers were moving. She was blowing down. She was playing that flute, like no doubt. I'm sure if I were in her car, I would have heard sound coming out of that thing. It was One of the more
She was
wild
going.
things I've seen on the
She,
road.
she was going to her rehearsal. She was trying to make sure that her stuff was good before she got there.
If she's gonna not crash on the way there.
Exactly.
Oh Lord. But I guess we can discuss my health. Y'all are both babies. I think I'm older than both of you for sure.
You are, but like not by much.
Well,
Especially Matt. Matt's an old man.
I got news for you. Like, doctors freak out when you turn 40. Okay, like I'm 41.
That's not a good sign.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
Coming up.
Matt's is coming up real soon.
I'm 41
No, it's not.
in March, so I'm over 40, getting to 41. And this is my first checkup in like 3 years. I don't go to the doctor. Like, they get mad about that. I don't go until they send me the letter saying that if you don't come see us, you're not our patient anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. So I go and I see her, and like I was telling you before the show started, like they whip out these calculators to figure out when you're gonna die.
Mhm.
Like, they're like, oh, we're gonna ask about you and ask about your mom, and your dad, and your grandparents, and we're gonna figure out your heart health risk and your stroke risk. Oh, okay.
And you're like, so I have an uncle that died when he was 25. They're writing this down. It was a car accident. Even better.
and they take your lab work, and usually they're just like, okay, thanks for getting that done. Well, this time they went line by line to show me all the different things, and this is what this means, and this is what you should be looking at, and don't worry about this. And okay, doc. And then they want to make sure you're going to see all your other doctors too. And she's figured me out. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna trust you to call them. I'm gonna have them call you for appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it worked. I went. And then those doctors had calculators to figure out your cancer risk. And it's like, everyone's planning on just my death. They weren't talking about this at 38, but at like 41, they're like, we gotta
Sativa, if you would have showed your face at that 39-year-old appointment, you would have been good. This is punishment. This is just punishment.
They're stressing me out. I got my daughter trying to give me a stroke in the car. Maybe I should have told that to the doctor. They're like, we got to figure out your stroke risk. I'm like, well, I am teaching a girl how to drive.
That's why my blood pressure is so high, guys.
My blood pressure was good. They complimented me on that. We're good on that.
That's funny.
So, and then of course, like, they put the scare in me. So now I like bought all these vitamins I've never taken before. My mom's bringing me vitamins. She's like, here you go. I'm like, Mom, like, I'm only 40 and like 3/4. We're fine.
And 3/4. I thought your mom lived overseas.
Oh no, she's English, but she lives here.
Oh, that's ill. If you don't have to be here, why would you be here?
She's been here for 42 years.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, well, you're an adult now, Sativa. I'm going back home. God bless.
I mean, and of all places, she's living out in Illinois. I mean, my God, why would you do that? I don't know. She stays. I guess she loves my dad or something. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, if he loved her, he'd go back with her.
Oh, to make it worse, when she first came here, my dad and his family were living in Oklahoma. They brought that poor girl all the way from England.
Where are they from?
They were living in Oklahoma at the time, and then he moved her to Florida. I mean, gosh,
that's not as bad.
Have you been to Lake City, Florida? Like,
no, I mean, I was just thinking Florida as a whole, but it's like, you're gonna go from Europe to the Midwest. Fuck that.
Yeah, Oklahoma, all places. I mean, it's just brown and flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she came from Devon, where there's like beautiful hills and moors and grass.
Yeah, she really loves her husband. Her husband.
My dad, yeah.
Your dad owes her one.
I agree.
Matt, what have you been watching as of late?
I was able to catch a movie called Plane, starring Jared Butler and Luke Cage.
Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter, yeah, but in my mind, that's Luke Cage.
That's fair.
I really enjoyed this movie. Quick synopsis: a pilot finds himself caught in a war zone after he's forced to land his commercial aircraft during a terrible storm. It gave me real like old school action movie vibes to it.
Something from the 90s, like Passenger 57 and all that shit.
Exactly. It was like 100% up that alley to where I enjoyed this movie a lot. Like it takes you on two different levels, because you got the first part to where the plane hits the storm. So you have this big scene of everybody on the plane jumping up and down, like turbulence and everything else like that. This crazy thing. He has to land this plane through all this trouble and stuff. And then once you make it past that, now you have to deal with this island where there's I don't call it a militia, but basically the police do not go to this island because everybody got guns. It's kind of like a free for all type of thing.
It's scary there, so it's lawless.
Right. So then now he has to figure out his way out. I don't give you no more information. This movie was great. But one thing I appreciated is at the end of this movie, spoiler, they make it out alive. Well, some of them make it out alive.
What? Huh?
And like all those old movies where like the action star would be like, all right, we're done, smile, do something like this. Like after they get off the plane, he lets them all go, and he kind of like, the episode of Rick and Morty where he's like, we're about to go in and out, quick 10 minutes, and this and that, and they come back afterwards, and they're just like crying and exhausted and everything. It was like that. He was being strong in front of all them, but once they left the plane, he just sat down and like he starts crying. He was like, basically, fuck, I didn't think I was gonna make it out of that one, but thank God I did. I appreciated that part of the movie.
I like that. You don't see stuff like that, like, because like a lot of action movies, it's like the hero is like invincible, right? Like you look at Fast and the Furious, where they're doing all this crazy shit, and like they're just like they got superpowers and stuff, and it's like you don't see normal-ish people in those kind of situations. Like, the original Die Hard, like he bled so much in that movie, and it's just like you really felt like he could actually fail and die.
Right. Right. And that's what I enjoyed about this one, because he's just like tears cried, but then like he had to collect himself, and then he boarded the plane, and then it ended. So yeah, check out Pilot. And then plane. Sorry, plane. I looked up. They plan on making another one. What do you think it will be called?
Helicopter.
Close. Let's try a different avenue.
Train. Planes, trains, automobiles.
Well, no. You was almost there. Ship.
Is this like how, do y'all remember, what's that Steven Seagal movie, Under Siege? And then Under Siege 2 was on a train.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like Speed was on a bus, and then Speed 2 was on a boat.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right. So I guess there's as long as this we get plane, we got ship, maybe we can do a car, canoe, who knows?
Oh, you know what? I already know what's gonna happen in ship. It's gonna I remember that Tom Hanks movie, Captain Phillips. I Am the Captain Now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
like
that.
Probably exactly that. Hey, if both of these actors are in there, I'm here for it. I really enjoyed this movie.
It wouldn't make sense if they were both in it though.
Yes, I mean it would, depending on the situation, because I ain't gonna spoil it what happens with these two characters, but it could happen.
Okay. What is Blue Lock?
This is a shout out. This is an anime. So I'll be on Reddit, and one Reddit thing I found, I was told like the top 10 anime of the week. And one of the top 10 anime was Blue Lock. So I was like, let me check this out. And basically, it's about, in my mind, it's like soccer mixed with Squid Games. But here's the plot. High school soccer players from across Japan gather for a controversial project designed to create the best and the most egotistical striker in the world. So basically, you have all the best strikers in Japan, and basically they're trying to make them the best in the world to represent Japan's national team in the World Cup. So they got them all into this building, and then they have them do challenges and stuff to where if they lose, not only are they kicked out, but then they'll never be able to play for the Japanese national team. It's 18 episodes. It's on Netflix here. I'm not sure if it's on there, but great anime, very good. I can see why it's number one. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, and that's called Blue Lock. I'm checking American Netflix right now. I see something called Blue Period, and then there's Kurioko's basketball,
No.
but I
So,
don't
so
see
maybe
Blue Lock.
so maybe it's not on US.
It's probably on something like Crunchyroll.
Yeah, most likely it's going to be on Crunchyroll.
Yep, it is. Just Google just confirmed that. All right. And lastly,
But
I'm sorry.
but speaking of Reddit,
Okay.
so I seen this on Reddit first, and then I saw it on social media, and I really was intrigued at people's answers and their reasoning for their answer. So I sent you guys this.
And YouTube people, you can see this, and Matt's gonna describe it for the audio listeners.
Right. So it's you pick two of these animal sections. They will defend you, and the rest is going to kill you. So now you have your options are 50 eagles, 10 crocodiles / alligators. I don't know. I'm not a alligator scientist. 3 bears. I guess that's up to you if you want to do black or grizzly or the different kinds. 7 bison, 1 hunter, 15 wolves, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, or 4 lions. I'm going to repeat that one more time without my side comments. 50 eagles, 10 alligators, 3 bears, 7 bison, 1 hunter, 15 wolves, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, 4 lions.
Sativa,
Yes.
pick 2.
Oh. Do you just want 2 or do you want the reasoning too?
Yeah.
Yeah, pick out the ones you pick and the reason why.
My son was looking at my phone when you sent that meme, so he picked some of them too. We both decided rats were a good choice because rats are nasty and no one's gonna want to come near rats. I don't want to be near the rats either, but
it's animals that are attacking you, so the animals won't care, right?
No one wants to be around rats. Even animals. I mean, the rats are just they're diseased and disgusting.
Oh yeah, they could be plague rats.
Yeah, you don't know what a rat's got, and they can be mean if they're New York rats. They're aggressive, right? Like you don't want those hanging around. And for some reason, my son really decided we needed the 5 gorillas because they're I don't know big and strong and they're smart, right? Like they managed to get out of zoo cages and stuff, right? So like they might have some good ideas for defense, assuming they like me,
I mean, I think they need to in this scenario.
But you had like that kid that got drug around the zoo cage way back when. So if they don't like you, they're gonna kill you anyway. But I guess they're on my team, so
yes.
Yeah. So rats and gorillas. The gorillas, I don't know. My son picked that one, but the rats, I just assume they'd be a barrier, keep everything away.
So mine would be the 50 eagles because I'm looking at this from a perspective of not just quantity, but size as well. And so I feel like that, they got sharp talons and beaks and they can fly. And so, they can come at everybody from the sky. And then my other one was the 15 wolves because once more quantity and also it's like, they've got they got some decent speed. And so like if a good amount like maybe like 3 5 animal pairs attack something, maybe they could be kind of efficient.
Okay. I'm taking mine. Mine was easy. Like I did this and then I thought about it later. I got one of each. I have the 50 eagles and I got the 10,000 rats. So I figured we can go top and we can go bottom, and then 10,000 rats is a lot of fucking rats.
Yeah.
And then the eagles. So I'm started thinking the bisons. All right. The alligators. I'm like, we can get those. The eagles can handle that. To me, the biggest concern will be the bears and the gorilla. But I'm like, the rat's going to be there too, and I guess I'm there too. So I don't know what kind of. They didn't tell me what kind of weapons I got.
It just says defend. You okay. Cowering.
It's like Pokemon. They're out there doing their thing, and I'm just yelling at them what to do.
Yes.
But yes, I was like, 10,000 rats and those 50 eagles. We gonna be good.
Okay.
Well, yeah, listeners, talk amongst ourselves. If you got some better ideas, I'd love to hear it.
It was a
I want to hear
fun
somebody.
little.
I want to hear somebody come up with these crocodiles, because also it doesn't tell you what kind of environment you're in.
That's true. I mean, for all you know, you could be on Ship, the sequel to Plane.
Oh, then my rat's gonna be good then. This eagle, not so much then.
I mean, you're gonna be in the water, so they can be circling, holding it down.
Oh yeah, because rats can swim, right? Yeah, they
Yeah,
can swim.
yeah.
Because what was that? Was it Kill Bill, the one where they had the rat in the bucket and they heated up the bucket and he clawed through the guy's chest? What movie was that?
That sounds familiar, but I don't know if that was Kill Bill. It might be, but I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember, but yeah. But
Hmm.
speaking about rats,
Hmm. Where are we going with this? I'm on the edge of my seat.
what's up with the federal government and their taxes? And I think about that one for a second. How's it going to transition?
Yeah, so I just filed my taxes this week and I waited almost a month because I got my W-2 like in the middle of January. But I was waiting on my documents from Robinhood on my stocks. And I put all my stuff in and it's like, okay, cool. So you're actually gonna get less money now because you put these stocks in. I was like, oh, awesome. And you know what tipped me over? I own shares of Twitter, and somebody just had to make that go private. And so they forced me to cash out.
Oh, good old buddy Elon.
Good old musky boy. Thanks, bro. So Matt, you and I caught a movie this weekend. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Mm.
And I was one, so I'm not sure if you've heard Sativa, but this is I don't know, it might be the lowest rated, but last I checked, this was the second lowest MCU movie rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Had you heard?
I think I saw that. Like, I don't remember which one it was below, but yeah, it's like one of the worst rated Marvel
What,
movies out there.
Eternals?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's not bad, but it is the lowest. Like, I would rate it the same. I don't know. I have to go through the list to see if it'd be the second lowest. But at the top of my head, and after watching it recently, yeah, it's going to be one of the lowest from what I remember. Um, but I'll let you go next before I dive into more details.
Okay, Ant-Man Rotten Tomatoes. So Eternals is 47, and it just showed me the first Ant-Man. If I type Ant-Man in, they know which fucking Ant-Man I want. So okay, Eternals is at 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ant-Man's at 48%. So like it is going to be lower than Eternals. And so before the movie came out, I was like, I feel like we're being really unfair to this movie. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, I understand what's happening now.
Yes.
The movie is fine, but I feel like as a whole, people are taking their frustrations out on the MCU through this movie. And that we have this same Marvel formula. Everybody's a comedian. We have these like interesting ideas, but we don't really do anything interesting with them once we're in the movie. The trailer tells a different story than what we actually see. Like, so, the trailers blatantly lie to us. You cast actors. I'm not talking about Kang, but you cast actors in these movies, and you give them nothing roles that you will never see them again in. And it's like, why would you waste an actor of this caliber on this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, at the end of the day, this can't just be an Ant-Man movie. This has to be an MCU movie, as in this is the first movie of phase where it says 4 or 5.
4 just ended. So I guess this is considered 5, or this might be the end of 4. I'm not sure.
This is the first one of phase 5. So this needs to
Okay.
set up that the Avengers movie that we're going to get in 2 years. And so it's like, this is the bad guy in this is the bad guy that they're going to be fighting in the next Avengers movie in 2 years. So you can't beat him technically.
Correct.
But he's the bad guy in this movie. So it's like, this is a stalemate. But you put him against Ant-Man, and like Ant-Man's a cool character, but like they've established him as a thief. And he technically kind of sort of beats the Thanos of this next wave of Marvel movies. And it's like, what are we doing here, y'all? Like, this is way too ambitious for an Ant-Man movie.
I agree. So like you said, like it's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie.
Right.
And plus the way they do things in it without giving no spoilers or anything like that.
I mean, if you want to spoil this shit, you can. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not gonna put timestamps on this because I hate doing that, but like this would be like 2 minutes. Zoom 2 minutes.
All right, then fuck it. Let's get into these spoilers then. Yeah. Back to what you were saying about Ant-Man killing Kang. It just didn't make sense.
He didn't kill him, but
I mean, he didn't kill him, but it's kind of like what Kang didn't do anything to the very end, and for Kang to conquer it, for him to do all of this stuff, he doesn't do anything throughout the movie as far as what his quote unquote abilities are or anything else like that. And then once we get to the final fight scene at the end, all he does is kind of shoot some little laser beams. He had his little shield thing to where it was like, that's it. Where like when Thanos was there, Thanos was rocking motherfuckers all day. You could tell like, all right, he's somebody to be messed with. To where how is this dude
right,
the conqueror over this? Unless like maybe he's saving his special abilities for later.
and it's not even that. So like this does the problem like every single movie does, not just Marvel movies, where it's like the bad guy, he's set up to be this menacing threat, and then like he's killing and disintegrating, nameless characters. But once we get to characters that have had lines, and I'm not talking about the stars of this movie, but once like the resistance fighters, he didn't kill any of those people, but seconds before that, he was like literally disintegrating everything around him. But now I'm just gonna throw this person against a wall, that kind of shit.
Right.
And
what was your thoughts about MODOK?
Why is he a punching bag? I mean, I did laugh at a couple of jokes, but it's like to bring him back and to do nothing but shit on him and then to kill him. I really thought that they were setting him up for what is that? That next Captain America movie. Because the leader is in that. He was teased as the bad guy and all the way in that Edward Norton Hulk movie. So I thought they were gonna start their own little league.
Yeah, that was surprising too, that they did all this stuff throughout the movie to establish him and everything else like that. Excuse me, just to kill him off at the end. And then used a little joke at the end.
I'm an adventure now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, why would you build somebody up like this, a new character, just to kill him at the end?
Right. And also I hated the ending. So in the end, it looks like Ant-Man's like stranded in the quantum realm. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And so it's gonna be like a reverse of actually it's gonna be just like Endgame. Where he's stuck in the quantum realm. But I was like, this is interesting. And then like Wasp came back, saved him, and she's like, all right, let's go back home. And I'm like, okay. And then like the exact ending of the movie paralleled the beginning, and this is in the trailer, like when he's like, my life's good, and he's doing his narration, and I was like, oh, is this a twist where they didn't go back to their reality? But no, it's not. And I'm like, what do we do? Why would you do this? We aren't going to see Paul Rudd again until 2025 when we do Ant-Man and Avengers. Why didn't they do a twist of they left the quantum realm, but they went back to their reality, but in the future after Kang said, fuck all y'all. And like they're in a future where like everything's messed up and they have to like find the other Avengers that aren't dead. And like that's our tease to Avengers 5 or whatever we're at now.
Right. Or just leave it when he said, when he was going through this narration about everything's good, he's talking, and he was like, wait, hold on. Kang said that he's gonna kill everybody. And like leave some kind of cliffhanger with him wondering, did I do the right thing? Because he said that only he can save us or something like that. But then he was like, never mind. And then he just went about the day and everything else like that. And everything was fine.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that we're collectively saying fuck you, Ant-Man movie, but like they gotta shake this formula up.
All right. Right.
So,
what are your thoughts about the post and end credit scenes?
I did not care for the first one. And when the second one started, I was like, oh snap. Oh, Loki's here. And then it was just like, oh, we're not actually doing anything with this. Okay. So I didn't care for either one of them, but I hated that first one.
Oh, all the Kangs and talking about they're getting close to the multiverse. Okay. Yeah, it was nothing exciting. I mean, I already know they're working on Loki 2, so the final one was just like a precursor to what he's going to be doing for Loki 2. Yeah, it was nothing to be excited about.
Yeah, it's just this is not how you open up the first phase. Like, I'm not hyped at all. Like, I don't know, man. Phase 4 opened with WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that at least started off interesting.
Right.
Transitioning to more shit. I caught a movie on Netflix called Your Place or Mine, starring Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon.
I saw the trailer of that and I was like, do I want to go down this road? I was like, nah, that's okay. I'm not in the mood for a romantic comedy type of thing.
And like I was watching it, and I was just getting angrier and angrier. And it's like I like silly rom-com movies, but you know how the expression when you know better, you do better. And it's like Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon, y'all both know better than this. You both of you are better than this. Now I know that Reese Witherspoon was once upon a time a queen of rom-coms, but this is a streaming rom-com. So this is basically like you just did a fucking cable TV movie. And you specifically, Reese Witherspoon, are better than this. And I'm even Ashton Kutcher is better than this. So I was very disappointed in the two leads.
Well, did you enjoy the plot?
No. I get that at the end of the day they have to get together, but the things in the middle were stupid. Like, and it said some interesting things. Like they were friends for 20 years. They hooked up once and then they were like, you know what, friends. And surprise, he loved her the whole time, but like life kind of got in the way. And so, okay, but then it's like he was a writer when they met and he wrote a book, but she didn't know about it. And so when she's at his place, she finds the book and she starts like dating a publisher. And she gives the book to the dude, but it's like he don't give a shit about this book. He trying to see what's good with you, Reese Witherspoon. But it gets did you see it?
No. I just watched the trailer.
Okay, but yeah, he publishes it, and it's just like, and then Ashton Kutcher spends time with her son, and she's like a helicopter mom, and so he's letting the son do stuff like he got the boy signed up on hockey, and I'm like, you're not his parent. You didn't sign any waivers. You can't sign waivers. What is happening here? So it's just like stuff like that where it's like I don't we was doing too much. We got to keep this nice and light and simple.
This is one of those things where we go back to our trademark phrases. You watch this so we don't have to.
It's not my cup of tea. I did when I was rating it on Letterboxd. Friend of the show, Rachel, she apparently saw it, and she rated it higher than me. But this is her cup of tea.
Mm.
Now I will say, if this movie was set during Christmas, I would have ate that shit up with a fucking spoon.
Why does the Christmas make it different?
I love shitty holiday movies. I'm weak to them, Sativa.
Did they at least have good chemistry? Like, did you believe them as like two people who might?
So the
hook up
funny
or
thing
whatever?
is, they only had 2 scenes together in the entire movie, like in the same room. Like they, for the most part, they were just like they had phone conversations, and no,
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of important for a rom-com is you have to believe that they want to get together.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I'm not honestly. I'm not a fan of the friends to lovers trope,
No.
because it's like I don't think it's that realistic. And if you're gonna be friends with somebody for 20 years, and I don't think it's appropriate for you to secretly harbor feelings for somebody and you're like actively a part of their life for 20 fucking years. And I feel like that's just disingenuous. You are like low key in love with this person and you're just pretending to be their friend.
Right.
Yeah. And then for 20 years, she didn't see you as anything but her friend, but she turns on a dime. No. But I've been holding this in. I've been working on this for a few weeks, like off and on, but I watched a TV show, Matt. Do you want to guess what the TV show is? I don't think you're gonna
Uh,
guess.
is it an anime?
It's a live action show. And Sativa, you can guess too. A live action
Uh,
TV show that came on last year on streaming. Which streaming network? I can't tell you.
Live action streaming.
It's popular.
They
Give
came
me a
out
hint.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Have I seen this?
Mm-hmm. All right, fine.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. What'd you think of that?
I liked it. I will say this. I've been talking to Rachel about this because like she's the only person I could talk to about it because like I didn't want to tell you I saw it yet.
Mhm.
This wanted to be Harry Potter so bad. So Wednesdays goes to this academy for like peculiar children, and like they
Mhm.
got like the little houses and like the little house colors, and the school is basically Hogwarts, and they got the little classes and stuff. And I'm like, they go to the little town and they have the little the hot chocolate, the coffee store, kind of like Hogsmeade. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be Harry Potter so bad. I mean, like that's all I could see when I was watching it. I did like the show. It was all right. I do wish that we would have gotten more Adams family characters in it. I understand that the show's called Wednesday, but like basically the conceit is she is away from her family.
Mhm.
So it's like Wednesday's adventures and sometimes
Mhm.
Adams family people. Because I feel like Catherine Zeta-Jones was a really good Morticia and Luis Guzman was a really great Gomez. And I'm not sure of the young boy that played Pugsley. That's her
Huxley.
brother,
Yeah.
right? He was pretty
Right.
solid too. And Uncle Fester was fun, but I wish we could have seen them more.
Mhm.
But yeah, the whole conceit of it is like it's a mystery she has to solve. And I did like that. The mystery was interesting. Oh, since you haven't seen it, Sativa, um, Christina Ricci's in the show.
I think I heard that.
I
She
fucking
looks.
love Christina Ricci.
She's still really, really attractive.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was nice to see. Like, I'm a fan of everything. I'm a fan of Christina Ricci. So like, I'm here for it. Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones and Star Wars, she's in it. Good casting. Um, I mean, I'm not really a fan. I'm too old to really care about like who's gonna fall in love with who. like that whole teen romance crap.
Mhm.
But it's a part of the show. I will say this: I did not like that. I felt like the so during the course of the show, Wednesday has these premonitions, and I feel like that is lazy writing.
You didn't like because it was like that's so Raven.
Well, I didn't like it because it was like the visions basically just told her who the bad guy was.
Right.
Instead of like the whole show was like you're doing investigating, but the visions was like, okay, this is actually taking too long, so here's a shortcut.
I get that.
So it's like a Scooby-Doo. Like they have to solve like a mystery and find the bad guy.
Yeah, but like the bad guy's like killing people, like
Oh.
actually killing the students.
Okay.
So there are stakes to it. But no, it was pretty good. Like I'm looking forward to season 2.
Good show. Good
Yeah.
show.
I agree. Oh wow, that's all our shit, huh? Because we don't have we're done with Velma. We don't have to talk about that anymore. Well,
And
until
then
season 2.
Last of Us gave it to us early.
Have you been watching Last of Us, Sativa?
I've seen like the first 3.5, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's in love with Pedro Pascal. Everyone loves him.
I need my mans to stop being typecast.
He plays the slightly angry, unavailable, avenging hero. That's what he does.
Father figure. He's all he
That
does
too.
is escort children. That's all he
Oh
does.
well, I first saw him in Game of Thrones where he was, trying to avenge his sister. So
Yeah, I forgot he was in
yeah,
that.
he was great in that actually.
I got all about that. All right. That takes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, and the little girl was in Game of Thrones too.
Yes, Bella Ramsey.
Yeah. Yes.
But all right, that takes us to this week's discussion of Sharper.
Sir, the police are here.
Police? Detective, can we talk about this?
I'm gonna pay you for your time.
Stop. He's not a cop. This is what my son does. He plays these games.
All that work for $1,000. If you're gonna steal, steal a lot.
Sativa, with spoilers, elevator pitch, how would you describe this movie? Or without spoilers, whatever. But your elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch. It's a very slick episode of Columbo. I knew it was predictable. I mean, I knew the story from the trailer. I figured it out because it's literally an episode of Columbo. I could probably tell you which one if I really thought about it. But it's good. I mean, great acting. I don't know. I mean, it's a whodunit kind. No, it's not a whodunit. What is this movie? It's
a con movie.
It's a con movie. It's a grifter movie. And it's a grift within a grift within a grift within a grift, I guess. They try to do this whole Inception thing.
But most grifting movies are.
It's an episode of Columbo with better actors.
Right. So what you're saying is like this is the caliber of stuff Reese Witherspoon should be doing.
I mean, all of the performances are really solid, and it's well done. Like the camera work or whatever, the music, it's all good, but it's nothing new. I mean, it's been done before.
Yeah.
Better in some instances.
I will not argue that.
Yeah, I mean it's solid. It's not a bad movie. It's entertaining, but it's nothing new.
Matt?
When I was watching it, I was like, like she said, everything okay is predictable to the point where she kicks him out. Madeline kicks him out the house, slaps him, and then she meets up with him, and they start kissing. And I was like, hold the fuck on.
Right. That's what I sent you.
What kind of incest shit Chad got me watching out here?
Right. Like I sent a picture of myself in the group chat. Like, this is my face to this part. And like the whole time he's calling her mom and they start kissing. Yeah. I'm like,
I was like, me and the wife was like, we was like, whoa. So I'm like, as soon as he said that, I was like, so I guess that wasn't his mother. But I'm like, but now I'm not 100% sure. Is this going to be some story later on where some mother issue type of thing. I don't know where we're going with this, but let's see where this goes. And then they found out. I was like, okay.
Right. That part when she was like, I don't like old men. And then she came over and she was all like, you know what I want? And I was like, wait a minute. I've done this before. I feel seen right now.
See, I wasn't surprised because I figured out from the trailer that they were going to be like partners and not,
Yeah.
Although I did think it was weird, at least in the scene where we first, I can't think of his name right now. Was it Max?
Sebastian Stan?
Yeah,
Or,
his character.
Okay.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan, Bucky,
Yes.
That's
Bucky
what I was calling throughout the whole thing. Yeah, I was like, Bucky.
Bucky comes to the penthouse and, oh, hey, Mom, and hey, John Lithgow, rich man. And I mean, in real life, this guy's like 40, right? Like Bucky's around my age. But they were playing him really younger there for a minute. Like, he's been running fishing boats in Barbados or whatever. And they're playing him like he's like this 25 or something. They're like, he didn't grow up right. And it's not his fault. And he's still a child. I'm like, this man is 40. Like, why are we playing it like this? So that part was a little weird.
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like, honestly, Justice Smith should have been playing the Sebastian Stan part. Like, he's the right age for it.
Yeah, he was a lot younger.
Yeah. But that's a really good point. I didn't really think about that, but that's a really good fucking point.
Like, I mean, age-wise, I think in real life, him and Julianne Moore are probably like 20 some odd years apart. So it would make sense that he's the younger man.
They are 22 years apart.
Okay. But like when you listen to the actual like dialogue in that scene, they're playing him really young. Like a 40-year-old man's not just living on the beach running fishing boats or whatever. It was weird.
I mean, if your mother's rich, you don't really have to work, right? So you would be like you would regress. But
they didn't really give us a backstory on her, did they? I don't remember what her grift was. Like
not her real one, but her fake one.
Was she rich? I don't
and
remember.
her fake one, she was well off.
Okay.
Right. And then like the part that got me was after they grifted him for what they say, $250,000, and they were like, all right, we about to go take a vacation. My first instinct is, why would you stop? He a billionaire. Let's keep this thing going. So when she did say he's falling in love, she stayed, I was like, okay, now that makes sense.
Right. Now I didn't care for so this movie's like broken up into different segments, like, and it's titled
Perfect. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
I did not like it that way. How they broke it up like kaleidoscope for different people.
Oh my god!
What did you guys think about it?
I was really hoping you wouldn't say this shit about it. It should have all been told in order. Like
yes, it should.
No, it should not have.
I mean, no, it shouldn't have. But I didn't like it. At least in kaleidoscope, they did it in different parts. I didn't like the part of this person, this person, this person. Yes, they can do it whatever order they do it in. Like if you want to save some stuff, move things around like kaleidoscope. I didn't like how they did it by each person.
I did. I thought that was interesting. So when it first started with Justice Smith's story, I was like, oh no, I should not have watched the trailer because I know too much about this movie already. Because it's like, I knew it was going to be a con movie. And so like when it starts with him getting conned, I was like, oh no. Oh no. So I didn't like the second story. I forget the woman's name, but when it shows her, Sebastian Stan saving her and him training her on how to be a grifter, I didn't like that because I felt like some of it was clunky. Like he just so happened to have found her in that bar when her parole officer was trying to roll her, and like how clunky it was when he got her to like seduce that man in the hotel. It's like some of this stuff was like, we didn't need to see this. And I feel like if you would have cut that one out, I feel like it would have flowed a little bit better.
Right, because now that you mention it, that didn't really make sense because was the parole officer part of the con?
Right.
Because that's the bar that he goes to all the time and everything. So did he set the parole officer? How did he meet her? Just by that interaction between, like, nothing that she did with the interaction with the parole officer will make you think, oh, she might have some potential. Because all she did was just lie to her about not doing drugs and her
Right.
having a job. So what
Right.
did he see in her that was like, she could be a grifter besides what? She was attractive or whatever it is like that.
Right.
It might have just been as simple as that. A pretty girl down on her luck to honey trap this little bookstore guy. I mean, I agree with
Right.
you. The parole officer was probably a plant. I mean, they know all sorts of people. And is your average parole officer going to be able to look at a Rolex and be like, the street value on that?
Right.
You know,
Right.
no, I mean, she was probably a plant to get this girl in, but I don't know how they scouted this girl at the local Starbucks she hasn't been going to. Like,
Right.
how did they pick
Right.
this one pretty girl out of the entire New York City?
And then like they had like the bit about how, oh yeah, my brother, he wants money, blah, blah, blah. And like she actually had a brother. I was like, what, why do you actually have a brother? Like movie wise, why is this a thing?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I
Huh.
knew she was a plant as soon as we met her because she was
Right.
too perfect. Like, she's
Exactly.
Vassar, she's
Oh yes,
NYU, she
these
loves
books that,
classic books. Like,
and then
she
she was
speaks
all like,
Italian.
I love Great Expectations. And then he's all like, what? That's like my favorite book in the world.
I have a first edition. And yeah, this orphaned child who grew up in foster care that was so bad, her brother's like a drug addict, has
Mhm.
Ivy League education. She speaks Italian. She,
Yeah.
you know, reads classic literature. Like, that doesn't make sense.
And
Right.
then my whole thought, I was like, I've been out the dating game for a while, but I was like, all it took was for him to give her the book for free. He
An
comes
$11
back
book.
later on,
Yes.
right? Comes back, gives her the money. They go to the restaurant. They have conversations. Next, oh, my favorite book was this because orphanage. He goes back, shows her. He's a bookstore order, so that's not really a surprise that he has the book, first edition. Is this real? Only way to find out. And they start kissing. I was like, damn. I was like, dating these days kind of easy if you think about it. He didn't have to do a lot.
I mean,
All he really had to do was just pay for the dinner and listen.
I mean, look, I can attest, like it do be like that sometimes. But my thing was like when he was like, hey, you want to go get some of this food? And she was like, no, I'm good, my guy. And he's like, oh, okay, my card declined. You can take the book. I was like, nah, man. She said no to that day. You can, ma'am. This is this is $18.99. Okay. I'll hold this book until you come back with some money. You gonna fucking tell me for a date? Fuck you.
Right.
I was like, nah, my man, you're not playing this correct at all. But
And then the other thing I want to say is nobody got, or the bad, quote unquote, the bad guys didn't get what they deserved
I mean,
because Madeline didn't have no money to start with. She became a billionaire. They should just went back to her old life. It wasn't like they went to jail or anything else like that. They just had to leave. So it's
Right.
kind of like they didn't get no real repercussions. And like
and
Bucky,
she's still
nothing happened.
she's still the trustee of the fund.
Right. And Bucky, he just came because he already had the money before when he left.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, he showed up for their stuff and then he left. So there was no consequences for him at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like the ending fell apart a little bit. Like when they were like out in the desert and Justice Smith when he pulled out that gun, I was like, you're trained hitman, hit squad. They not just gonna let you easily get a gun. Like that gun's gonna be buckled. You're not going to get that close to it. We're running a scam, and I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I already knew he wasn't. I told my son was down there. I was like, he's not dead. He's
Right.
like, how do you know? I'm like, he's just not. This is the whole thing to get his money back. He's like, okay. And yeah, it was, like I said, it's been done before so many times. It wasn't new. And it was a waste of John Lithgow. Like, they could have put any old man in that. I don't know why they went and got someone who
that's true.
As good of an actor as that. And he basically just kisses her in an elevator and dies. Like,
I mean, to be fair, I get Justice Smith, like he's still coming up, And I've never seen that his little girlfriend before, so sure. But like, you got Julianne Moore. Like, what is happening here?
Right. Like I know we are saying the stuff we did like, but overall, I thought it was a good movie. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, parts are predictable, but I still thought it was a good movie.
No, I agree. It was fun. Like, I will watch it again. Not anytime soon, but I will watch it again.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Julianne Moore is really good.
All right. So Sharper, what do you guys think the Rotten Tomato score is out of 101 reviews?
Probably something high. Let's go 85.
I'd say it's a slightly above average movie. So,
It's not Ant-Man.
and these are like regular people watching it and rating it. Is that what?
No,
the scores are?
these are critics.
Critics. We'll give it a 67.
Wow, right on the money there, Sativa.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Oh, wow.
67% with 101 reviews, a 72% audience score.
Wow,
Okay.
people didn't really care for this.
It was mid. I mean, it was.
That's pretty solid. I mean, it's better. It's like a.
It didn't do anything new, but it was entertaining. So that's kind of,
Right.
I'm not sure what you would do new in something like this unless there wasn't a double con at the end. That would be like the only new thing you could do, right?
What if you just do what they did, but there is no second con, and he actually does die?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make this into a movie and make like a happy ending type of thing. Sometimes the good guy loses.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so trivia was real slim pickings on this. So I pulled this out of my ass. According to IMDb, how many actor credits does John Lithgow have? A, 104, B, 125, or C, 131?
Damn.
Those numbers are so
135.
close.
131, 125, 104.
100 and I go 104.
The highest one, that one.
So 104 is actually how many Julianne Moore has.
Oh.
131 is John Lithgow. So you're 2 for 2, Sativa.
Hey, I like John Lithgow.
He was a third Rock from the Sun.
He was. Did a Twilight Zone movie too.
He did?
He recreates the guy on the plane that William Shatner did way back when.
Oh,
He does the remade version of that in the movie.
Interesting. Matt, are you familiar, or you as well, Sativa? Are you too familiar with the the really fucked up things that happened due to that movie being made?
Yes.
No, I am not. I'm not.
So
yes.
Twilight Zone movie is it 3 segments?
Yeah, it is.
It's 3 different like mini movies, short films.
It's an anthology, correct?
And one of which has a guy going through different times, like he's hopping through time. And there's a sequence where he is with 2 kids. And is it supposed to be set during Vietnam?
It is. Yeah, he's supposed to be kind of rescuing 2 children in sort of a jungle war zone type environment. And he's got one under each arm.
When they were filming this, a stunt got really out of whack and the 2 kids died.
Oh, damn.
And there was a very big lawsuit because they were not adhering to, like, we've talked about this before. There's different rules for kids versus adults when filming movies in America. And though when they filmed that, it was illegal for them to be on the set because they can only be on set for a certain amount of time within a certain time period. And they were doing like a late night shoot. And also like the safety stuff wasn't all the way there, like with the helicopter stuff.
Correct. Did you actually read what the accident was?
Didn't they get decapitated?
By the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yes, the helicopter crashes and it
Yeah.
cuts them in half, basically. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And they have that on film. It's awful.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they didn't release it,
No,
but there was a
obviously.
big lawsuit, and John Landis was the director for that sequence.
I believe
John
so.
Landis, he's the director of the Thriller video, Michael Jackson, a classic. Also, did he do Beverly Hills Cop? I know he did Beverly Hills Cop 3, but did he do 1 or 2?
Didn't he do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles that we watched?
No, that was
wasn't him.
no, that was Ferris Bueller. The guy, the actual guy. He did that, didn't he? Let's see. John Landis. All right, John Landis did Blues Brothers. He did.
Oh, you're right. He did do Beverly Hills Cop 3. John Hughes did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
that
I
one.
always I mess those two up all the time. I apologize.
Okay, so he did Animal House, Blues Brothers, American Werewolf in London, Trading Places, Thriller. Then things kind of dried up a little bit. The Three Amigos, Coming to America. Michael Jackson's Black or White. Dangerous. Beverly Hills Cop 3. Blues Brothers 2000. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show. Yeah, it's not great.
Damn, even the actor died. Fuck.
Yeah. So yeah. I've never seen it, but it is something that I'm kind of interested in seeing.
It's.
Oh, you can go to YouTube and watch it. Let's see.
Did you mean the movie or the accident?
I mean, there's scenes of like you don't see the actual decapitation, but like there's stuff online.
Yeah, I choose not to look at that sort of stuff. But I mean, the movie's pretty solid for an anthology. I mean, some of the skits were pulled straight from
the show,
the original show, but
I feel like it's probably streaming on like Amazon or something. Let's see.
Oh, dude, shit, they do have it. All right, let's check this out.
Give us the play-by-play, Matt.
They're giving me out to say that I'm of age to watch this.
Mountain today brought tragedy to the set of the Steven Spielberg movie The Twilight Zone. Actor Vic Morrow and 2 small children were killed. The chopper came down as they were shooting a war scene. The helicopter crashed just before 2:30 in the Indian Dunes Park. This Warner Brothers crew is about to wrap up filming for a story in the new Twilight Zone movie. The scene called for a nighttime bombing of a Vietnamese village, which actor Vic Morrow was supposed to pick up 2 Vietnamese children and run across the Santa Clara riverbed.
Yeah, there's too much explosions and shit going on. Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. It's just imagine the helicopter blades fucking hear the people, the helicopter blades go right on top of them.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I didn't watch that.
I'm pretty sure they lost whatever lawsuit that there was.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Vic Morrow's daughter had her own lawsuit as well. Like I'm surprised they were able to make any more movies. I mean,
yeah,
that's insane.
I mean, his shit kind of dried up. I mean, I'm sure like the lawsuit took some years, so that's why he was able to do Trade in Places. But like, it wasn't good times for him after the 80s.
The explosive specialist Paul Stewart was tried and acquitted on charges of manslaughter in a 9-month trial. The second assistant director, Andy House, his name was removed from credits of The Twilight Zone. Filmmaker Steven Spielberg co-produced this with Landis, but broke off the relationship following this incident. Spielberg said the crash made me grow a little and left everyone who worked on the movie sick to the center of our souls. No movie is worth dying for. I think people are standing up much more now than ever before to producers and directors who ask too much. If something isn't safe, it's the right and responsibility of every actor and crew member to yell cut.
I mean, how are you gonna know that how low that fucking helicopter was gonna fly though?
Right, and especially the explosion thing. I mean, like maybe if I would have watched this before knowing it, I wouldn't have said anything. But when you watch it, it's a lot of shit going on. Like they have the rain. It's at night. You have gunshots going off and everything else like that. It's a shame.
It's too much.
Right. Yeah.
Mm. So it's on Hulu and HBO Max, but yeah.
Yeah. Now that I know what happened, I'm not going to watch that. Well, I was going to watch it before, but now I'm definitely not going to watch that.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm interested to know how they cut around that, like what they did with it, since that segment of the movie is still there.
I honestly can't remember how that segment goes, but yeah, you're right. They do use a lot of. But maybe that was like the last thing they had to shoot.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right. Now you guys perk my interest again. Let me figure out how this movie actually ends.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Oh, here we go. Scenes reconstructed. I'm going to fast forward this too. I'm kind of nervous too. I don't know why.
There's not any gore in the movie. You're not.
Yeah.
See anything.
I would not have wanted to have been the editor.
Oh Lord, no.
Like you gotta polish that. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's kind of surprising a scene like that's in that movie because it's overall not really intense. A lot of it, even the scarier themes are kind of campy. They're kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like,
Some directors they want to push it,
I mean, because most of the movie is not like that. So it's kind of interesting that they went that intense with that scene. And then, of course, it goes horribly wrong. But
The fuck? This is an actual scene. I'm like, hold on, this looks exactly like. Okay, never mind. I'll find this on my own time. I just watched that scene again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know
wanna
how we
see
got
the
onto
regular
this.
because I talked about John Lithgow being in the Twilight Zone movie.
Right.
Yeah. He plays a really good villain, not in this movie, but in other movies.
Wasn't
Which
he in
is what-
Cliffhanger?
He was a villain in that, and he played an excellent villain in Dexter. And I was hoping to
Yes.
see a little bit of that in this
No, we aren't doing that.
this movie, and it wasn't there. For a
We
minute
will-
when he was telling the fake cop, like, just take it. You kind of see his John Lithgow edge, but otherwise he was very neutered in this. I just forgot what this movie was called.
Sharper.
Sharper. Yeah, he was very neutered. It was a shame. Wasted John.
All right, we're gonna close out. So thank you for coming on, Sativa.
Oh, of course.
It's good,
Yes, thank you.
catching up and shooting a little bit of shit with you. Good luck with your health as well as your heart while you're in the car with your daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusetotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page. We used to talk about this at work, and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Used to Talk Pod. Follow me on Letterboxd at BOW1213 and Matt, Mr. King 0257. And next week we discuss the Amazon Prime original, Somebody I Used to Know. And hopefully we can get somebody we used to know on the show. But we'll see.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.